Welcome to Sarah Farm, where we teach you all various type of agriculture. So today we will be discussing about an interesting topic, which is management guide for layers for better eggs production. So looking at this topic, you will notice that we are actually talking about how we can have a better eggs in our poultry farm, and not only that, we're also talking about how to manage them. All right. So for us to manage them, we have to have a guide on how to manage them, and all these are the guide that you will use to manage this better egg production. All right. Let me just better egg production. So who are the people laying the eggs? These are the people laying the eggs. All right. So what are we saying? We are saying that this topic is all about management guide for layers for better egg production. So the major aspect about this thing is the guide. So this is the what I want you to take note of, this guide. That is the most important thing that you need to know about this particular topic. About this particular topic. So management guide for egg for layers for better egg production. So what these are the guide that I have written. So we will start discussing them one after the other. All right, so for us not to waste a lot of time, let's start with the number one. So the first one we have here is provide optimal space for the pegs. Okay, now for the for layers for your layers to lay a lot of eggs for you, you have to provide what optimal space, and the exact space that you need to create for your base is actually 2 square meters 2 square feet meters for each base. So that is how you can create a better space for your base. And if you are doing free range, that means you have to have a lot of land just to make sure that they have a lot of space for them to have ventilation and move around to do exercise just to lay their eggs. So the second one is introduce the pullets to layer mash. So in every point of their of every base stage, they have different stage. So at the beginning they use match. So let's say introduce the pullet to layer mash, preferable after the first eggs have been dropped. So after the first egg have been dropped, you have to introduce them to what? You have to introduce them to layer mash. Sorry. You have to introduce them to what? To layer mash. You have to introduce them to layer mash. Now, the third one is inspect the birds daily. So for you to have the understanding on how your farm operates, even aside from the what, aside from the better egg production, you have to inspect your birds daily. All right. Okay. Take for instance that in the first day one day one they lay, let's say, 24 eggs, and day 2 they lay 18 eggs 18 eggs 18 eggs. That shows that you have what? You have over 6 shortage in day 2, because their normal drop is 24 eggs, and they lay 18 eggs. So you have 6 shortage of eggs. So that is the reason why you need to inspect them daily. The next one is actually maintain accuracy maintain accurate consumption of feed. All right, in this aspect of feed you have to be very very careful, because we all know that 70% of the total cost is actually from total expenses is actually from the feed. So They say maintain. I said maintain accurate record of feed consumption, egg production, and disease control measures. So you have to make sure that all those things you have to manage them and you have to maintain them just to ensure that you have what a better egg production. You have to make sure that all the eggs, the disease, and the medication are well given just to make sure that your eggs doesn't drop. So the next one, which is provide clean water, we all know how important water is in poultry farming. So most times, what most people do is that they just feel like feeding their flocks just continuously without giving them water, which is kind of bad. All right, the more you give them and feed, the more water you give them. All right, because if you don't give them water, they won't feed more than they feed. What am I trying to say? If you are giving them more food without less water and you're giving them less water, they won't eat well. Are you getting me? They won't eat well. So you have to be giving them more food. Let's say you give them 20 grams. That means you can give that 20 grams of food, you can give them, let's say, at least 15 liters of water, depending on the numbers of birds. So just make sure that you provide plenty clean water for them in order to achieve your better eggs production. Now we go to the number six, which is regular coop regular regularly coop on productive birds. So once you notice those birds that are not productive, those birds that are just in catfish we call them runs. So those birds in poultry we call them coop. So once you notice those birds that are not productive enough, just dispose them or you process them and sell it off, because they will keep on consuming your feed and they won't grow. So the seventh one is about providing um preventive measures. So if you know the right thing to do in your farm, just to make sure that your farm is safe from disease, you just have to do it. All right, you just have to do it just to make sure that your farm is safe. So make sure that um those measures, preventive measures, those preventive measures, make sure that you have them regularly and you do them regularly. So the eighth one is prevent feed wastage. As I said before, 70% 70% of expenses in even in agriculture as a whole is what is feed. Is actually feed. So and if you are wasting this feed, trust me, you are not doing yourself good. So what you just have to do, you have to what? Prevent feed wastage. You have to know the exact gram that exact gram per bed. You have to know exact gram per bed. So I think that is all I have to tell you on this topic, which is management guide for layer for better egg production. So if you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section, and do well to follow my page, which is Silver Farm. Thank you all.